Hey guys, how are you? David Franco here from thefrancohosting.com with another tech survey. It's been a long time since I've done one, but this one's actually pretty sweet. It's not that lengthy, but it's definitely more in-depth than past tech surveys I've done. And this one is from Mark Kwan, also known as Sonocorp. I've actually Skyped with him in the past during my live broadcast over at dfranco.com/live. So thank you very much, Mark, for sending in this tech survey. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, what was the first technology-related device you ever used or owned? For example, gaming console, computer, mobile phone, etc. Now, this is really hard because I've been using technology since maybe I was 2 years old. I don't know. But my earliest memory I have is playing the Atari 2600 that my parents still own. And I used to play all these awesome games. There's this robot game, I forget what it was called. Maybe like Mr. Robot, I forget the title. But it was so much fun. I used to play the crap out of my NES in the baseball game and 720 and just awesome memories. So I guess the earliest memory I have is the Atari 2600. That's not a definite, but that's what I'm going to guess because it was a long time ago, guys. Question number 2, who is your inspiration in the technology field that makes you want to continue creating tech-related content? Honestly, anybody. It could be you, Mark. It could be somebody as big as Leo Laporte. It could be Chris Perlow. It could be Soldier Knows Best, John Falakers. It could be myself. I mean, it could be anybody that tries something new in the world of technology, anybody that shows their passion for technology and likes to share that passion with other people. There's this new guy I just found out about. He's named Pat Flynn. He makes an awesome podcast called Passive Income, and it tells you how to make money doing what you love to do in life and your passion and how to turn that into revenue. And I just find that kind of thing fascinating. So basically, anybody. I mean, it could range from people in marketing, people in advertising, people in technology, people in podcasting. Just as long as anyone shows their passion relating to what I'm interested in, then I'm going to take an interest naturally. That's the best way of explaining that, right? I hope so. Question number 3. With so many tech-related news coming out every day, how do you absorb all of it without overloading yourself? I don't know. I mean, I just get it off Mashable. Mashable is always on my second monitor to my left. And if something truly is big enough to witness, then I will. I mean, for instance, the whole Microsoft Surface tablet. I think it's going to be a success. Well, I hope it's going to be a success. It actually seems pretty decent. But that's just a great example. I mean, if something big is going to happen, then I'll naturally find out through Twitter. I mean, that's why I love Twitter so much. Twitter is real time. It's always happening. It never sleeps. It's kind of like New York City. There's something always going on, no matter whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Something's always happening, and that's why I love Twitter so much. So I guess that's how I do it. And honestly, I don't check that many different news sites, so maybe that's how I no longer overload myself. I say no longer because I used to check sites obsessively, but now I just check Twitter and 9to5mac.com for my Apple-related news. Question number 4, with RIM not doing so well lately, what do you think their future will lead them to? Will they eventually go out of business? Now, this is hard to say. I've never really used a BlackBerry as my own phone. I've played with other friends' BlackBerries, and I've seen it in person. Honestly, I was never really that impressed by BlackBerry and the whole RIM scene altogether. So, yes, I do see that they're in big trouble because of companies like Apple and Google and even Microsoft now with the Windows Phone. RIM, in my opinion, it kind of feels like the whole MySpace versus Facebook thing. I mean, why would somebody use MySpace when Facebook exists? Why would somebody use an old flip phone when you can get a nice Android phone or iPhone? Now, I know BlackBerry or RIM, whatever you want to say, doesn't make flip phones, but I'm just doing the old analogy. I mean, why would you want to use this when this exists? Now, I will say RIM obviously is trying very hard. I don't follow RIM that closely, but I have seen news on Mashable that they have a lot of good stuff coming out. But it might be one of those things like they're a little too late to the party. Now, if you can't tell, I don't know much about RIM, and honestly, I really don't care. I don't intend to find out much about RIM because I just don't find them that interesting. I mean, okay, let's put things into perspective. I'm much more interested in Android than I am BlackBerry. So that kind of gives you an idea. And you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of Android, so that should tell you something. Question number 5. Since YouTube has been having so many problems lately, do you think people will leave them and use another video sharing site such as Vimeo? No. That's not how it works. I mean, YouTube has problems all the time, but people aren't going to leave them. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, next to Google. And who owns YouTube? Google. So I guarantee you, people will not be leaving YouTube anytime soon. Trust me, if you are serious about getting your content out there, you are going to use YouTube. Now, Vimeo is an awesome site. I'm not dissing Vimeo in any way. Because trust me, I love Vimeo. I actually watch videos on my Apple TV from Vimeo now and then. I mean, they have some awesome content. But YouTube and Vimeo, they're two completely different communities. YouTube is the more average Joe website for video sharing. But that's not to say that professionals can't share their content. But on the other side of things, Vimeo, in my eyes, is strictly professional and more artistic work that appeals to only a smaller portion of the YouTube audience. Does that make sense? Either way, moving on. Question number 6. If you had the opportunity to design or create a product for Apple, what would it be? This might shock you, but a webcam. No, seriously. I mean, I used to love the Apple iSight webcam. It was my first Apple accessory that I ever got for my Mac. Yeah, it was $150. Yeah, I will admit it was a little overpriced for what it was. But back in the day, webcams were still kind of new, so it's kind of hard to say nowadays. But anyway, I mean, I would love to see an actual dedicated webcam from Apple, because you know they would do a kick-ass job with the design. And if I were to help with that design, then I would love to do that. I know Apple's all concentrated on the FaceTime cameras and iSights on the back of their iPhones and the iPad, but it would be great for Apple to create a brand new dedicated webcam. Okay, so do I see this happening? Unfortunately, no. I don't think Apple's really interested, but if they did create one, you know I'd buy it right away. Question number 7. As a fellow geek, how do your friends and even family treat you being a so-called geek? Do they accept it or make fun of you? No, they accept it. I mean, the term geek has changed a lot, right? Back when I was in high school, being called a geek wasn't really cool, but by today's standards, and as far as I can tell anyway, being a geek is the new cool thing to do. Now, of course, it's not, I mean, you don't go outside and be like, hey ladies, I'm a geek, you want to come to my crib? No, you don't do that. It's not to that point yet where geeks are getting all the girls and, you know, they're like, you know, looked at as the cool people. But I will say geeks are definitely more respected nowadays than they were 5 years ago. Question number 8. If Steve Jobs was still alive and you had the opportunity to talk to him one-on-one, what would you say to him? Thank you. Question number 9. With the rumors of an actual Apple television being in the works right now, how would you like it to be designed, and also what features would you like to see integrated into it? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm not that picky when it comes to my TV experience, just as long as it works. The only thing I really want from an Apple TV is the current Apple TV box crammed into an actual Apple television set. I say set, but it's not really a set if you think about it. It's just a panel. But that's exactly what I want. I want the Apple TV OS integrated into an actual Apple TV. That way I only have to use one remote. Yes, I know the whole Logitech Harmony remotes and all that good stuff exists. I realize that. But I just want a one-stop shop for getting my content. For instance, my Samsung TV isn't classified as a smart TV because it doesn't have access to Netflix apps and the YouTube app and all that stuff. But my Apple TV does. So if I could put the Apple TV experience into my TV, then I'm happy. I mean, yes, it could use extra features such as integration with iOS devices, and I'm pretty sure it will when that day eventually comes. But for now, I'm a very simple-minded person. As long as my TV looks awesome, as long as I'm getting 1080p content, and as long as I have access to my Netflix content, then I'm pretty happy. Question number 10. When you're not doing anything tech-related, for example, on your computer, phone, or playing video games, what kind of activities do you like to do? I guess this past weekend is a great example. Saturday, I hung out with friends. I helped somebody audio edit. Well, I guess that classifies as being on my computer, but still it was fun for me. But afterwards, we went to the diner. You know, the diner I'm at every Friday night. We went there like 2 o'clock in the morning. That was fun. Then the next day, I went on a bike ride with my friend Chris for 3 hours. Hurt my ass, but it was fun. I love a good bike ride. Yes, I do drive. For those not aware, I always see people asking what I drive. I drive a Mazda 3, for those wondering. But there's something about taking a bike ride with a friend. It's just so different. Having the breeze in your face, just getting outdoors, pedaling, exercising, staying active. And honestly, now that I have my bike at my house, I will definitely be taking bike rides much more often. Oh, and of course, geocaching. Geocaching can technically classify as a geeky thing to do, but it is outside the house. It is an activity that encourages you to get exercise and to explore. And overall, it's just pretty fun. Question number 11. With Windows 8 coming out soon, do you think it will be a success or failure on the desktop platform? Now, Mark, I know you didn't ask about tablets, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Tablets, I think it could do quite well as long as Microsoft markets it well. I think it's very smart that they're integrating the tablet into the desktop platform because new customers to Windows 8 will say, oh wait, I've seen this on my phone. I've seen this on Xbox 360. It must be similar on the desktop. And that's awesome. That's kind of like what Apple's doing with iOS integration into Mountain Lion. However, in my opinion, Apple's doing it on a much more smart approach. They're doing it very slowly. They're not throwing it in your face. But in terms of desktop usage and success in Windows 8, I don't see it being a huge success. I see people being turned off going from Windows 7 to Windows 8. But if you're going from a tablet that's already running Windows Phone software or even the Xbox 360 interface or whatever you want to call it and going to Windows 8, then yes, it will be a success. But overall, in terms of market share, I don't see it being huge. Question number 12. If you could choose, what old school video game would you like to see be remade into a more modern version? Seaman. There you go, I said it, Seaman. It's not really old school, but it's the days of Dreamcast, so I guess it's old enough. But have you guys ever heard of Seaman? I actually have a video all about it. Just go to my channel, search Seaman. No, not Seaman. Seaman, S-E-A-M-A-N. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a fish that looks like a man, but he talks to you. It's very creepy, but with today's technology of the Kinect and better voice integration in video games and all these high-res 1080p HD graphics, I think Seaman could be incredible. The only downside about that is I don't see it being a huge success. I don't think Seaman sold that well in the US. I think it sold pretty well in Japan, but then again, Japanese gamers enjoy more quirky experiences than US gamers do. As far as I'm aware, which sucks because I enjoy quirky games too. I mean, I wish we could get more quirky games like Seaman imported over to the US, but who knows? Maybe we will get it over time. Question number 13. Do you think social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and even YouTube will still be around in the next 10 years or will they slowly phase out? 10 years is a long time in terms of technology. 10 years is, I don't know guys, 10 years is a pretty long time from now. Will any of those sites still exist? I don't know. Will Google still exist? Hell yeah. You can pretty much guarantee that. I mean, YouTube could very well transform into a primary, I mean like a, what's the word? Premium media network within the next 5 years. But I wouldn't mind as long as they don't push out people like myself. I mean, I don't mind where YouTube goes just as long as we're still able to upload our content and share our passion with our audiences like I'm doing now. But will they be around in 10 years? I don't know. That's a really, really long time from now. Now, in terms of Twitter and Facebook, Twitter, I don't see them being around 10 years from now. Facebook, they could, but from a completely different business model. But again, it's really, really hard to tell. It's just one of those things that you don't really know until it happens. Question number 14, with the Mac Pro being the only Mac not to be updated in a long time, do you think Apple will update them anytime soon? If so, what specs would you like to see in them? I've been over this already in previous videos, but I'll just say any update, it's a good update at this point. However, apparently Tim Cook has personally emailed a concerned professional customer about the Mac Pro, saying that there is a brand new Mac Pro coming out in 2013. So if we do get past the whole 2012 and end of the world stuff on December 21st, then yes, I am looking very, very forward to the new Mac Pro and what it brings to the professional market, because let's be honest, and I don't mind saying this as an Apple enthusiast, what the hell is going on? It's been way too long. But if they do fulfill this void or gap in the professional market with a brand new Mac Pro next year, then I will be very, very happy. And now, question number 15, the last one. With many tech and geeky related TV shows out there, which is your favorite and why? None. Okay, let me explain. First of all, I don't think there's that many geeky, tech-related TV shows. I mean, maybe I'm missing out. Getting email. It's from Audible. I know there's Big Bang Theory, but I don't watch that. I know. Stone me. I know. I apologize. Trust me. I've seen a couple episodes while in New York City. It just happened to be on in the hotel room, and I really, really enjoyed it. The only reason I haven't watched it yet, like through its entirety, is because it's not on Netflix. Please, they need to get Big Bang Theory on Netflix. I promise you, I would watch all of it within like a week. The TV show looks really, really funny, but I don't pay for cable TV, and I never will. I am technically a cable cutter. I will never, ever pay for a TV service again, except for Netflix. I love Netflix. It's $8 a month. Why wouldn't you get it? But I guess the point is, I would really like to see it on Netflix. However, with that said, I do enjoy the crap out of The Office. I watch it just about every day, all the old episodes. I mean, The Office is the only TV show that I could go back and watch it over and over and over again and never get tired of it. Well, besides Boy Meets World and old TV shows like Doug and, I guess, Hey Arnold and Rugrats, my childhood. But that aside, I mean, I love The Office, and it can kind of classify as a tech geeky show with the whole Dwight thing going on and tech references such as Facebook, and they even show the iPad now and then. Now, I know it's not directly related to technology, but in my eyes, it could classify as a somewhat geeky show. Really? So many notifications coming in. Anyway, again, thank you so much, Mark, for this awesome tech survey. This is probably the best one I've taken in a while. It's probably a little long in terms of video length, but that's okay. If anybody made it this far, just comment below saying you watched the whole thing. I really appreciate it. And of course, if you did like this video, prove it by clicking that like button right below. And of course, as always, if you guys do want to send in your own tech surveys or questions or anything for that matter, just go to ddfranco.com/contact. Link is right below, just like everything else in my life. And I'll see you next time.